Hi, this is Daniel. In this lecture, I am going to explain the basic concept of broadcast domain and collision domain. So, in a network, there will be three kinds of devices we are using, that is switch, hub, router, everything for connecting the personal area computers and users, servers, printers, everything. So, in order to connect the local area network, we are using hub or switch. For connecting wide area network, we are using routers. So in order to understand the basic concept of broadcast domain, I will give you the basic overview with the help of hub. Suppose we are having one hub. We are going to connect this hub with the PC1, PC2 and PC3. So all the personal area computers are connected with the help of hub. The type of information generated by any networking device is what we called as frame. Frame is nothing but data plus information for the purpose of communication. Information for the purpose of communication, that is the extra information that is added along with the data. These extra information, whatever the information that is appended along with the data, can be understood by studying TCP IP model. So for this lecture I am giving the basic overview, that is any networking device will generate one frame. That frame containing data plus information for the purpose of communication will be added. What this frame is called the payload. So if PC1 want to send some frame data to PC3, means what it will do means it will send data plus information that is for PC3. So PC3, it is sending the frame towards the hub. What hub it will do means it will act like a common channel, one common channel. Whatever the information is passed to the hub, it will pass to all the ports. So when frame 1 is received from PC1, transfer the frame to PC2 as well as PC3. PC3 will check the information. PC2 as well as PC3 will check the information and find that this frame is for PC3. So PC3 is going to respond with another frame 2. In that frame 2, it will having some information, data plus PC1. PC1 is the information, extra information that is added. So what hub will do means hub will again forward this packet frame to PC2 as well as PC1. When PC1 received the frame 2, it came to know that from the extra information added that this is for PC1. So this is how it will communicate. So the hub is having one broadcast domain. And one broadcast domain means when a hub received a frame from one port, it will send that frame to all other ports except the port which it has received the frame. So it is said to be in one broadcast domain. One broadcast means all the user in that particular network will receive the frame. So next thing we are going to discuss about collision domain for a hub. Collision domain. So in hub is just a connecting device. It does not perform any extra thing for the forwarding of the frame. It just repeat the frame what it has received from a particular port. Just repeating the frame means it just signal. If any signal from PC1, it will send that particular signal to PC2 and PC3. There is another scenario you need to understand. Here we have in the previous thing we have told that PC1 is sending the frame to PC3. At that time PC2 is in idle state. In another scenario, if PC1 and PC2 is sending the frame at the same time, means what happens? Actually, hub is just what we have to consider means it is one common channel. This is a channel. Here we have PC1, here we have PC2, here we have PC3. PC1 want to send the frame 1 to PC2. Also PC3 want to send frame 2 to PC2. So what happens means it will send both frame at the same time, means both will be available here. What happens? The same channel, both the electrical signals, that is frame 1 and frame 2, will merge with one another, and what it will causes means collision. This collided the frame that will be forwarded to PC2, PC3 and PC1. So the collision is happened here. All the ports will be affected. So here the collision has happened because of transmitting the frame to PC2. So here the collision occurs, but this collision is forwarded to PC1 as well as PC3. So hub is having one collision domain. So whenever you have to see, hub is having one collision domain and one broadcast domain. Next thing we are going to discuss about the switch. Broadcast domain in switch. Switch also do the same thing as hub, so we can say that switch is having one broadcast domain. There is something more regarding the broadcast domain of the switch. The switch can restrict the broadcast domain with different techniques called VLAN that we will be studying later. Virtual local area network, that is separating the broadcast domain. So by default the switch is having one broadcast domain. Whatever the information is passed to all other devices, but for the first time only. For the first you can say for the first frame it will be broadcasting the frame to all other ports. For the second time, per port. So one broadcast domain for the first frame only. For the second frame it will be per port. These things also you will study later. This can be done with the help of that is it is maintaining some CAN table. With the help of this camp table, it is having per port collision for the second frame. So normally what we can say means the switch is having one broadcast domain similar to the hub. Next thing is collision domain. Switch is having per port collision domain. The port collision domain. So if this is a switch, here we have a port, if any collision occur here, it does not forward to other ports. That's why we are saying as one per port collision domain. How the switch will stop this collision means with the help of maintaining buffer. Each port is maintaining a buffer. Buffer means storing the data. If any information is present, if some other device is transmitting the data, means with the help of this buffer it will store the frame and then forward the frame. Store and forward the frame. This is the thing why switch is having per port collision domain. So by summarizing, switch is having one broadcast domain and per port collision domain. What happens if hub and switch are connected? The hub, we are connecting switch. Here we have PC1 and PC2. Here we have PC3. We have PC4. So here I am writing hub is having one broadcast domain, one collision domain. Switch is having one broadcast domain and one collision domain. Per port collision domain. So here one question we can raise: how many broadcast and collision domain in this network? So you can see hub is having one broadcast domain, one collision domain. Switch is having one broadcast domain per port collision. So you can see one broadcast hub and switch is having one broadcast domain. So we can say this network we have one broadcast domain. Second thing, collision domain means per port. Here hub is having one collision domain. This is one collision domain, one plus this is common, so one collision domain. Here we have per port, this is one collision domain, this is one, so totally 1 plus 2 equal to 3, that is For switch and hub is commonly one collision domain, and the switch here to PC. These ports will be in different collision domains, so two collision domain. So here three collision domain. Next thing we are going to discuss, let me explain another example. Hub switch. Here we can say hub or switch doesn't matter, one broadcast domain. Collision means per port. This is one port, this is one port, and this is one, this is one. You can consider this hub as one collision domain. So you can see in common, this is one collision domain for this hub, this is one collision domain for this hub and switch, this is one collision domain, this is one. So totally 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 collision domain. If two hubs are connected means you have to consider it as one collision domain, one hub. So this is how you can calculate the broadcast domain, collision domain for hub and switch.